I just wrapped the arraignment for Nicolás Maduro and Celia Flores, and it was actually very interesting for an arraignment, I should say. But starting from the beginning, there was about 5 AUSAs sitting, and behind them was the defense table. So normally, in my experience, usually the defense table and the prosecutor table is adjacent, but the defense was behind them. And both Flores and Maduro walked in navy blue MDC V-necks with the tan pants, and Maduro had orange shoes on. And he also was shackled. Flores was shackled as well. They didn't have handcuffs. He kind of sat down. He shook his hands, or shook the hands of his lawyers, kind of adjusted his shirt, and they both put headphones on because they used translators. So I did not see Flores and Maduro look at each other really at all. I definitely did not see Maduro look at his wife. He was very busy throughout the hearing, or the arraignment, taking notes. And I'll get to some of the stuff that he said, because it was just really interesting. So the judge, Judge Hellerstein, he kind of goes through his spiel saying, he introduces himself. He says, "I'm here to make sure you receive a fair trial," yada, yada. And he then says something like, "Are you Nicolás Maduro?" And Maduro stands up, and instead of just saying, "Yes, I am," he says, "I am Nicolás," and this is in Spanish, "I am Nicolás Maduro. I am here kidnapped. I was captured in my home on January 3rd. I am a prisoner of war." The judge is kind of like, okay, we just wanted to know if your name was Nicolás Maduro. And he says, "Yes." So he waived a reading to the indictment. He basically said he had the indictment in his hands for the very first time. But his lawyers, they briefed him on it, and he said, "I would like to read it personally." I noticed he did stand very strong. Like he had, he had conviction when he was standing and speaking to the judge. He was given his rights. Anything that he says can be held against him. And the judge said, are you aware of this? And he actually said, I was not aware of any of these rights until you told me. And then when it was, sorry, I'm not laughing. It was just, again, it was interesting. When it was time to enter his plea, he basically said, "I am innocent, I am a decent man." And his lawyer, Barry Pollock, was like, he just, on the record, he means not guilty. There was just a lot of talking. Again, if you sit through arraignments, there's really not necessarily this much talking from the defendants. So after he gave his plea, he sat down, and they did the same thing with Celia Flores. And her attorney, I believe Donnelly was the last name. I have to just get the first name. I didn't quite catch that. But they said, "Are you Celia Flores?" And she says, "Yes, I am Celia Flores. I am the First Lady of Venezuela." And again, the judge is like, "Okay, cool. We just want to know your name." And then she said about the indictment, she says, "I am innocent. I am not guilty of anything that was mentioned here, or I'm completely innocent." And then we went through the date and the time of the arrest from the prosecutors, and they said it was January 3rd at 11:30 a.m. that they were captured, and then they arrived in New York City by plane at 4:31 p.m. They gave them the right to consult with the consulate offices of Venezuela, to which Flores and Maduro both said they would like to speak with the consulate office. Let me see. And then when they were discussing the interpreter, the court wanted to make sure that Flores and Maduro could understand everything. And Flores says, "Yes, I understood, and I am taking notes." And he said, "And I would like to make a request. I am requesting that my notes be respected, and I am allowed to keep them." And they said, "Yeah, well, that should be fine. We'll make sure that that's okay." And then Barry Pollock, who is Maduro's attorney, brought something up about the procedure about the fees with the prosecutors. So I don't think he was a court-appointed attorney. Again, I just walked out of court and got my phone back, so I haven't looked anything up, but when I write something later, I will make sure I have all this information. And they waived bail. Both Maduro and Flores, they said at this time, they waived their bail application. I did notice pretrial services, they were there, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to get bail, but yeah. basically, there's going to be a lot of discovery. The word used was voluminous, of course, and so the defense wasn't really comfortable with setting a motions deadline schedule at this time, but they did schedule the next hearing for March 17th at 11 a.m. So, and then it was brought up that Pollock wanted to get a health and medical form at MDC on behalf of Maduro to get some of his health issues taken care of. And then also, Celia Flores' attorney said that she is in desperate need of an x-ray because she sustained serious injuries, quote, during her abduction. She maybe has bruising or fractures on a fractured rib or something like that. So, and I did notice she was kind of standing up very slowly. But all right, that's pretty much that for now. I will have a written article with all the details up later on lamag.com. So yeah, thanks for following our coverage. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to add was that my friend from Pix 11, Anthony DiLorenzo, got a great scoop from the DEA that I thought it was a great scoop, that they actually gave him that Nike sweatsuit that he was wearing. That wasn't his. And they gave him several outfits when he was in transit just to make sure he did not get hurt or he was not targeted in the process. But yeah, that was not his Nike sweatsuit apparently. So yeah.